I grew up in a small town and we had a house in the woods. It was an old, big Victorian-style house with lots of rooms and a creepy attic. When I was 12 years old, my parents decided to renovate the house. And while my dad was doing some electrical work in the attic, he found a loose wire and a small wooden box hidden behind the insulation in the walls. The box was dusty and ornately carved with strange symbols all over it. My dad was an electrician, not a historian or an archaeologist, so he didn't know what to do with it. So he brought it downstairs and put it on the table. That night I heard strange noises coming from the attic. My parents and I were eating dinner and drinking wine when suddenly the lights flickered and went out. A cold wind blew through the house and we heard footsteps above us. Then the lights came back on and everything was fine. This happened again a few days later. We lost power for a few seconds, and when the lights came back on, we saw that the wooden box had disappeared from the table. Then we started to find these strange symbols carved into the walls all around the house. They looked ancient and otherworldly and we couldn't make any sense of them. Then one night my parents and I were awoken in the middle of the night by screams. After that, things started to get really scary. Sometimes at night I would wake up and feel something sitting on my chest keeping me from breathing. And sometimes when I would walk down the hallway, I would feel a cold, invisible force grab my shoulder. I would turn around and there would be no one there. Then one night I was awoken in my bed by scratching. I sat up and I heard a voice in my ear saying, "Get out, demon." Startled, I turned to my side and saw my little sister sitting upright in her bed watching me. She had a wild look on her face and she was covered in scratches. She looked terrified. She started screaming and crying. Then she jumped out of bed and ran to our parents' room. That's when my parents and I realized that there was a ghost entity haunting our house and it was trying to use me as a vessel to get into this world. We had to fight back. My dad stood in front of me and started reading ghost scriptures that he found online. And as he was reading, the ghost started screaming and thrashing around. It sounded like it was in a lot of pain. Then it stopped. In the morning, after of course not sleeping at all, we went to check on my sister. She was fine. She had no memory of the previous night and she seemed like nothing had happened to her. But we knew that we weren't safe. We ended up moving out of that house, and I haven't seen or heard from my family since.